Welcome back to my cheap Cadillac CTS-V, my midlife crisis purchase. And here's everything that was wrong with it. Now, I'm not saying this is a lemon, but you're actually seeing it in its final form. That's right, this is the end of the video, but also the beginning of the video. So I'm gonna go through everything that I fixed on this because I wanted to, not because I had to, but all these little things that were bothering me. So when I first got it, it had this big, massive carbon fiber-esque lip. It was fake. I hated it, so I actually hacked off the middle of it just temporarily, and that suited me for as long as I needed it before the OEM style lips came in. Which, these are actually the OEM style lips in carbon fiber that you'll see a detailed portion of later in the video. But the first thing we had to do after that was address these wobbly paddle shifters. So let's cut to that.
Okay, so I've got to fix these wobbly paddle shifters. They're actually good paddle shifters, but I think they're just mounted poorly because I looked at them. I'm pretty sure these are the Vitesse Motorsport ones, and these are the ones that I would have bought myself. They look pretty much identical. So I think they just need to be removed and then a little piece of foam or something added. So I'm gonna try. I got a couple little screwdrivers to pry these things off. I'll let you know if I'm successful in a second or not. Okay, so that was actually very easy. I just pried in the middle, and now here's what it looks like. And so clearly the original button is gone. And so the foam was added from the original button, it looks like, but I feel like I might need more foam. So I conveniently already had some of this stuff. I'm gonna see if I can cut this, leave the paper on because it is double-sided sticky, and then jam it into the paddles and see if that will help, because I think this is the thing that actually clicks the button, and there's too much of a gap here, so I just gotta close this gap up. Okay, so I've used my knife and I cut this exactly to fit, and this is way tighter. There's no gap here. This feels like it's gonna be really, really good. It's actually not sticky on this side. I thought it was gonna be, but it's not. So yeah, this was super compressed. Okay, so I'm gonna pop this in. This back half goes in first, and then the bottom thing, line that pin up with the hole, and I should just be able to pop this in as long as it's straight. Okay, so it is better, but it's definitely better. Click is also better, but that's not enough. I'm gonna try something else. Okay, so I think the wobble is coming from where these pins are sitting. This pin right here. I think there's just too much of a gap because it's been kind of mangled in there. You can kind of see, right there where it sits at the bottom. Really hard to show you. Right there. I'm gonna try and put some maybe electrical tape on the bottom and see if that makes it a little bit better. Okay, this is a lot harder than it looks. I cut a piece of electrical tape, cut myself in the process, and then wrapped that to make it thicker. We'll see if that does anything. And there you have it. No movement, no play. Look at that. No noise, most importantly. Look at that.
So now that I can actually shift this thing with these really nice paddle shifters that don't make any noise and don't move anymore, simple fix, I had to move on to the next simple fix, which isn't really a fix, but when I checked the oil level, it was black. And I was like, all right, you know what? Let's change the oil. Got my Total Energies Quartz 9000 5W30, got an OEM filter, because I noticed that the oil, when I was checking it over here, is quite dark. So I'd rather get that changed. Hard to tell on camera. Trust me, it looks quite dark. So, trying to do this one-handed. Got it. All right, time to change the oil. I love having this lift, by the way. Makes life so much easier. It's always a nice surprise if you get an OE oil filter. Unfortunately, I don't, but whatever. We're putting an OE one back on, so that's all good. Here's the drain plug. Super easy to work on these LSs. I love these drain pans. Drain plug, oil filter. Straight down, nothing shooting anywhere. Super easy, everything will get caught. Let's see if I can do this while filming. Always a little tricky. One-handed. Come on, come on, nice and clean. Here we go. Ah, close. That's okay. Not bad. And as you can see, this oil desperately needed changing. Wow, that's gotta be the blackest oil I've ever seen. At least on one of my cars. Let me know in the comments below if you pre-fill your oil filter like I like to do. I know there's a big debate online. Do you really need to do it? Well, guess what? When it's easy, I like to do it. So this one's super easy, might as well do it. And make sure you lube up this gasket. Oil changes with Jacob. OEM filter on. Time to get the impact gun out. Just kidding. Just kidding. Although whoever did this prior to me probably had an impact gun on there because It was actually pretty tight on there. And done. Okay, the heart of the beast, the LSA, the 6.2 liter supercharged V8. Also, when I just lifted that up, I noticed that this is not doing its job very well. It's okay, could be better, so I'm gonna change that out. But let's fill it up with oil. Okay, let's pour her in there. Liquid gold. Liquid gold.
And let's start her up with the funniest key thing of all time, but I actually love it. Excellent. Now, this thing has like an oil reminder thing. So, let's see. Right here, 71%. Nope, we're gonna hold that right there. That was definitely not 71%. 100, done.
The next simple thing, the hood strut. This is how it's supposed to work. This is after I changed it. It works perfectly. It supports the hood really nicely. I got this from Rock Auto, where I got a lot of my maintenance parts in this video. Just super easy to get them, not sponsored. Everybody knows Rock Auto. They are one of the best in the game, but look at this. Hood strut was super easy to change. It's like one little clip at the top, one little clip at the bottom, and that's it. So let's move on to the next thing. Let's get detailed. Now, the paint on this car was actually in really good shape compared to some of the other cars that I've purchased in my life. Go look at my Cobra video where I got that detailed by Dre's Auto Detailing, who's the same guy who detailed this thing, and he did an incredible job, which I'll show you in a second. But I initially thought it needed like a single stage polish. You know, once you get up close and those guys have their little detailer eyes, no offense, he is a short guy, I'm not saying that's why he's little, but they started to look and they noticed a couple more flaws than I did, obviously, because they're looking at it up close. And so they kind of went to town and did a 2-stage polish, followed by ceramic coating. So 5 days later, it was time to pick it up, and holy crap, was my mind blown once again. Just picking up my Cadillac from Dre's Detailing. Dude, killed it again. Unreal. Brand new car.
Yeah,
this guy revives all my cars. He's the best. Go see him. Link below. Okay, let's take a look at what you did here, because the Pearl is now popping like crazy.
Pearl's back, baby.
Dude, look at this. This is like a brand new car again. Look, headlights, brand new, PPF'd. Look at this. You can sell those as new. No one would ever know the difference. Don't worry about this. I already have the new lip at home, so as soon as I get home, I'm gonna switch this out. Don't pay attention to that. Everything else, you guys ceramic coated?
Yep.
Including the wheels?
The wheels have also been ceramic coated.
Dude, look at these. The barrels. You guys cleaned everything. Holy crap. Amazing.
We actually ended up doing a 2-step paint correction.
Yeah, okay.
A 1-step polish did refine the paint.
Yep.
It brought it up a little bit, but as you can see, there's a lot more gloss and depth back from the actual pearlescent.
Dude.
Pearlescent, I would say.
Yeah. Look at this thing. Even here, like this looks... Did you replace this?
Maybe.
No, man. I'm pretty sure you guys buffed all this stuff out. This is unreal.
Yeah,
holy hell.
And then obviously when you first got the car, there was a bunch of scratches and stuff.
Yeah.
Here. We were able to actually to buff them out, compound them. There was actually a long one that went right along here.
Yeah. There was a couple at the back here, I remember too.
Yep.
That's all gone. There's just whatever here.
Yep.
Holy, the exhaust, damn, dude. Near finish. Oh man. Look at, and you guys polished up the lights too.
Oh yeah, dude, that looks like a jewel now.
Holy.
Like a brand new jewel.
Damn, dude. Look at this. Look at this guy, he's never done. Never done. Oh, this is mint, dude. Thank you so much. I think you said, oh yeah, you replaced this too, because this had like a janky piece. Now you got like a nice new piece on there.
Yeah.
Little PPF.
There was no kits originally for this.
Yeah.
So what we had done was we had made shift a kit from a newer model, made sure that the line lined up with the body.
Yeah.
So that was perfect. And then we basically just chopped it off on our program. So that way it gave it a partial protection from the stone chips that would be kicking back.
Killed
from the front.
it. Interior. You guys also polished this out as best you could. I told you not to go too hard, but this is like a huge improvement already. It actually has a mirror shine to it now.
It's a lot glossier.
Yeah.
A lot of the swirls happen from basically just chucking your phone, your keys, cleaning it aggressively from previous owners, obviously, or just even normal wear and tear. So the gloss black will always basically suffer.
Yeah, I hate gloss black. I will probably
yeah.
wrap it with something else in the future, but this is just a temporary solution. But
Carbon fiber.
yeah, dude, look at this. Recaro seats all nice and cleaned. Amazing. Killed it, dude. 10 out of 10. Go see this guy. Bring your cars here. Jay's Detailing. Thanks, man. So now that we've got this thing shined up, it was time to address the front lip. As you can see right down there in front of you, we've got the OEM lip on there. It looks way better in carbon than that fake carbon, non-OEM style. I'm a big fan of OE or OEM Plus. This is my favorite style lip that I've seen so far. Looks perfect on the car. Now, let's get to the next fun thing. And part of the reason why this video took a couple weeks to complete was because I had to get my custom plate. So, the Cadillac has been approved. That's right, look at this thing. We got the Cadillac. Yeah, that's right. I'm laughing at my own joke. It's a dad joke. That's what happens when you become a dad, all right? I'm proud of it. I'm so happy. And depending on how you pronounce it or who's pronouncing it, maybe it's the Daddy-lac. Let me know in the comments below how good that is or how bad it is. But the lady at Service Ontario did say that it was the funniest plate that she had ever registered. So I'll take that. Or either I'm that funny with my dad jokes or everyone else has a complete lack of creativity. Let me know in the comments. But I do love my custom plates. Got one of one bowling green on my Drift Corvette. And then on the Cobra, if you guys haven't seen the update yet, check this baby out. I do have straight pipes. So I do love my custom plates, but come on, Daddy-lac? Dadillac? It's definitely Dadillac, but like, Daddy-lac's pretty funny. All right, let's move on to the next thing. Let's take things a little bit more seriously now with the seats. This was something that I had to address because the seats, oh, these are the Recaros. And on the internet, this is a love it or hate it thing. Turns out I'm in the hate it camp. From day one, I wasn't sure if I could get used to these seats. And it turns out I couldn't get used to the seats as they were. So I had to do some surgery on this seat. So I have to take off this entire seat back. Apparently you just pull on it. It's like a giant plastic thing. Oh boy. Okay, I'm gonna try two hands so I don't break this thing. Apparently there's a bunch of clips back here. Let's see if I can fix this. Okay, so after pulling on this quite hard, there we go. That's it. And now I gotta figure this part out. Okay, so basically the issue is that I need to pull this back so that this lumbar thing, this whole thing is the lumbar motor, I believe, kind of pushes that way. So I want to pull it back this way so that it's like not against my spine. So I'm just gonna try and zip tie these somewhere here. So I'm just gonna pull this back towards the car and that should solve my problem, hopefully, at least according to the forum posts. Okay, so here's what I've done. I've tightened this one. So this thing has been pulled back. You can see now there's like a pretty good gap over there. So I'm gonna show you guys when I tighten this one what happens. So I haven't tightened this one all the way. Put it through here to here. You can see right there. It's not me farting, it's me in the leather. There you go. So now I'm gonna pull this and watch this thing's gonna come back. See? That's all I'm doing. Moving this thing back towards the back of the car to push less lumbar that way. So now I'm just gonna clean this up, cut these down, and put it back and see if it's comfortable. Buddy, can you push the lumbar forward? Forward, towards the front of the car. Yeah, it's pushed it forward. Okay, you can see it inflating right there. That's cool.
Well, does the up one do?
The up one is a different one. Push the up one now. You can see it moving right there. Push the up one. You can see it all moving. They're all different air bladders in here. It's cool, actually. Yeah, push back now. Let go. Yeah, push back.
What about
Cool.
the down one? This one.
The back one gets rid of all of them. So there, that's how that works. Okay, well, it's definitely better. It's definitely deflated. It's not like a thing in the middle of my back anymore. And now I can drive this thing so comfortably. So if you've had problems with the Recaros, I highly recommend trying to do that because it just moves that lumbar back and it makes it all livable. It's so much nicer. And last, but certainly not least, probably should have been first, the Continental Extreme Contact Sporto 2 tires. A really nice set of summer tires because this car came from Texas. It is too nice to drive in the winter. I want to keep it that way. Underbody is absolutely mint. So I'm only gonna be driving this in the summer, so an ultra high performance set of summer tires is definitely the choice. And that's it. That's all I had to do to the car. And yeah, I know I'm wearing this shirt that says, no, my car is not done. My wife got me this for Father's Day. Apparently she knows me a little bit too well, but I think the car is done. However, I'm gonna be honest with you. There's a couple things that have been crossing my mind, okay? A smaller pulley, because it's so easy to make power on these things with this supercharger. However, that opens up the can of worms of having to do the solid isolator, which realistically I should probably do at some point anyways, even though it's not a problem right now. But then you gotta reinforce the brick. You're probably gonna have to upgrade the heat exchanger. There's things that are associated with that you should do for safety. It's all those while you're in there things that ended up just snowballing every project. And I'm thinking about some other things. The ride height on this is stock, right? It's not bad, it's not bad. Let's take a look at that. It can always be improved through the aftermarket, am I right? So I've been eyeing a set of iBox springs because they drop the car just enough to what I call adult height, but at the same time, I don't want to scrape on anything, and this is like kind of perfect, so I don't know. Let me know if I should lower it, but I kind of don't want to. And the next thing, and probably final thing that I'm really thinking about, is aside from wrapping the whole center console or switching out all those gloss black pieces, because I can't stand that, is this car doesn't have Apple CarPlay or anything like that. And this being a daily driver, aside from my truck, I do like to have things like Apple CarPlay. That's actually the only thing I really like about modern cars is having CarPlay. Now this one obviously doesn't have it, but the aftermarket has obviously solved that problem with a retrofit kit that if you take apart the entire center console, you can kind of intercept the signal and plug in this little unit, and then you'll have Apple CarPlay on the original screen, which is the only way I would want to do that. So I am debating that, or maybe just leaving it period correct and just using my cell phone mount and doing things old school, maybe getting an FM Bluetooth thing like we did back in the day. Unfortunately, there's no tape deck thing. Yeah, I did all that stuff for the aux. Anyways, I think the car's done, right? Let me know. Don't read my shirt. Thanks for watching. See you guys in the next video. Maybe it'll be this car, maybe it won't be. Honestly, I don't want to ruin this car. It's too nice. Watch some of my other videos. I got that Corvette over there. I got this Cobra over here. Thanks for watching. Subscribe, thumbs up, hit the hype button, whatever's, I don't know, man. Just do whatever. Have a good day.